Is the era of chaos and underachievement finally over at Chelsea? For many years, the London side have been a rudderless ship, with a revolving door of big-name managers and big-money signings that have failed to live up to expectations. But now, there's a new commander at the bridge. Enzo Maresca has arrived, and he's building an army to restore Chelsea to their former glories. The question is, can he pull it off? Let's find out. Chelsea's recent history reads like a screenplay. A proud club plagued by chaos, instability, and a merry-go-round of managers and mega money signings that just couldn't get it right. Graham Potter, handpicked as the next big thing, was swiftly discarded. Then came the return of fan favourite Frank Lampard and serial winner Mauricio Pochettino, but their tenors flamed out too. Despite lavishing over £600 million on new players, Chelsea remained a disjointed, dysfunctional mess with an identity crisis. The fans grew restless as their beloved Blues became a punching bag. Something had to change, and that something was Enzo Maresca. Enter Enzo Maresca, the latest managerial saviour tasked with putting out Chelsea's dumpster fire. But the Italian isn't just any ordinary coach. He's a disciple of the legendary Pep Guardiola, having worked as his assistant at Manchester City. Maresca's tactical pedigree is based on Guardiola's possession-based, free-flowing philosophy that has conquered England and Europe. His arrival has sent a shockwave of hope and optimism through Chelsea. Finally, a long-term vision to steer the team out of the darkness. With the backing of the board and funds to rebuild, expectations are sky-high for Maresca to be Chelsea's chosen one. From the ashes of Chelsea's free-falling chaos, Maresca is implementing a daring new game plan. His philosophy revolves around maintaining relentless possession and breaking down opponents through controlled, incisive attacking. Every player must be comfortable on the ball, playing vertical passes to slice through defensive lines. Constant movement, rotation, and intricate combination plays are drilled to create scoring chances. Defensively, the team presses intensely as a unit to quickly regain the ball. It's a high-risk, high-reward approach inspired by Guardiola's tiki-taka revolution, but one that could pay huge dividends if executed correctly. A far cry from the aimless, disjointed Chelsea of recent years. But you can't rebuild a Roman Empire with a disjointed army. Maresca recognised that and has overseen a complete squad overhaul at Chelsea to implement his philosophy. The bloated roster packed with overpriced mercenaries has been trimmed, with Maresca ruthlessly moving on those who don't fit his vision. In their place, he's recruited technically gifted and tactically versatile players perfectly suited to his possession-based game. Guys like Christopher Nkunku, Levi Colwill, Malo Gusto, and others who can seamlessly rotate positions and keep the ball moving. It's all about balance, cohesion, and having the right tools for the job. No more Galactico egos or square pegs in round holes. For too long, Chelsea have been a team without an identity, just an expensive collection of individuals. Maresca is determined to change that by instilling a new culture of discipline, tactical clarity, and collective responsibility. He's drilled his players relentlessly on their roles and responsibilities within his possession system, both with and without the ball. The result is a team that functions as a unified, cohesive unit, moving in the same direction to execute the game plan. There's a newfound sense of purpose and organisation at Chelsea. The players finally understand their jobs and how they interconnect with Maresca's grand vision. No longer the aimless, reactive team that was being embarrassingly outclassed by the big boys, Chelsea have an identity again. But crucially, Chelsea's board and ownership have finally shown patience and long-term vision sorely lacking under previous regimes. Instead of recklessly pulling the plug at the first sign of adversity, they've granted Maresca time and resources to build something sustainable. He's been backed with a sizable transfer kitty to construct his vision, without the suffocating pressure for instantaneous results. There's an understanding that implementing such an ingrained possession-based style takes time and perseverance. The faith shown in Maresca is a refreshing change of culture at the club. For once, it feels like Chelsea have found a project they're willing to see through instead of mindlessly lurching from one quick fix to the next. Maresca's impact on Chelsea has been felt instantly, with the Blues making a blistering start to the 2024-25 season. They've only lost twice in the Premier League this season against Liverpool and Manchester City. Statement wins against Brighton and Newcastle have only added to the hype, as Maresca's troops showed their ability to outplay and outclass the Premier League's elite with their slick possession game. The hallmark of Chelsea's displays has been control. They're utterly dominant with the ball, patiently probing until openings appear to ruthlessly punish opponents. At the same time, they've displayed remarkable resilience and defensive solidity out of possession as well. Names like Noni Madueke and Nicholas Jackson were meant to strike fear into Premier League defences, only they never quite lived up to their billing for the chaotic Chelsea of previous years. Under Maresca's tutelage, however, that's all changed. This previously underperforming offensive unit has been completely revitalised, shining as the clinical frontline Maresca's possession-based philosophy demands. Finding space between the lines, timing their runs to perfection, and executing the final pass with poise. It's been captivating stuff from Chelsea's new-look attack, now thriving in a tactically coherent system tailored among their strengths. Palmer, Madueke and Jackson in particular look like the real deal, playing with a hunger and confidence that was previously missing. But the engine room driving Chelsea's resurgence has been their imperious midfield duo of Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo. An immovable object of steel and silk, the pair have controlled matches with ease through their wonderful blend of tenacity, technique and tactical discipline. Fernandez is the deep line conductor, spraying crisp vertical passes out from the back to spark attacks. Caicedo provides the legs and intensity alongside him, swarming opponents to quickly regain possession. The balance between the two has been a joy to watch, a perfectly synced partnership forming the backbone of Maresca's system. Opponents have found it impossible to bypass this controlling, all-action duo with their influence on both sides of the ball utterly immense. And Chelsea's defensive troubles of yesteryear are officially dead and buried. Maresca has turned the backline into a hugely disciplined, cohesive unit that succeeds through collective effort rather than individual superstars. Players like Levi Colwill and Wesley Fofana have come into their own as part of this newfound solidity. They're excellent readers of the game, impressing with their tactical awareness and positional discipline to snuff out danger before it materialises. The defensive work rate from the entire team has been phenomenal too, setting the tone by aggressively pressing opponents into coughing up possession. It all aligns neatly with Maresca's tactical vision, a strong, organised defence that provides the platform for his possession-based attacks to flourish. What's more, Maresca has demonstrated he's far more than just a one-trick pony. He's shown remarkable tactical flexibility and in-game management to prevent opponents from getting a read on Chelsea. Against defensive-minded opponents who deny space, Maresca has cleverly tweaked his shape and patterns to stretch them and find alternate routes through. Versus attacking-minded teams, meanwhile, he's set up to absorb pressure before springing rapid counterattacks. The uplifting aspect of Chelsea's strong start is how Maresca has backed youth players and nurtured their development into consistent first-team contributors. Malo Gusto has been a revelation at right-back, growing into one of the Premier League's most exciting attacking threats from deep. Teenager Renato Vega has earned minutes in midfield through his tidy passing and ball retention. Best of all, Academy graduate Levi Colwill has finally broken into the first team as centre-back after years of being overlooked. Maresca has handled these youngsters intelligently, shielding them from undue pressure but also trusting their talent. Their emergence helps Chelsea's long-term vision while adding vibrancy and energy to the team, a shining endorsement of Maresca's faith in youth. Ultimately, what Maresca has restored most at Chelsea is a mindset, that predatory winning mentality that's been crushing in recent years. His players now play with a ferocious intensity, determination, and never-say-die attitude lacking under past managers. We've seen Chelsea overcome deficits with dramatic comebacks and grind out ugly results in hostile environments, matches they would have shrunk in and lost under previous regimes. The resilience and composure to see out tight games is hugely impressive, but it also hints at a steely, mental toughness instilled by Maresca, a strong winning culture he demands and players have bought into. This winning mentality is an invaluable asset as Chelsea bid to re-establish themselves among England's elite. In turn, Chelsea's fans have been rejuvenated, rediscovering the passion and optimism that fizzled out amidst years of turmoil. The electrifying atmosphere at Stamford Bridge is back, with supporters rallying behind Maresca's troops to recreate that fortress that was known so well under previous managers like Jose Mourinho. You can't underestimate the impact of having fans back on board and transmitting positive energy onto the players. A feisty, intimidating home ground is always an invaluable asset for success. Above all else, the sight of players actually trying hard has won back the Chelsea faithful. After all, nothing resonates more than a team fighting and scrapping for the badge on their chest. The fans see that attitude and commitment mirrored in this new-look Chelsea. That's why they're returning in their masses. The contrast between Chelsea's current form and the dark ages of Potter, Lampard and Pochettino's tenors is ludicrously stark. It's night and day, the difference in competence, belief, purpose and direction on show right now. Before, this was a team in open revolt. Sulking players, managerial unrest, scattershot tactics and clueless transfer dealings dooming them to an endless cycle of second best. The previous regimes always looked one poor result away from total collapse, doomed to fail from the start with their unsustainable quick fix approaches. Now, Maresca has implemented a clear long-term plan built on core principles and foundations. There's been a cultural reset, finally installing the structure, identity and buy-in need for Chelsea to prosper once more. The difference is night and day. Chelsea's immense start to the 2024-25 season under the new regime immediately catapults them back among the Premier League's title challengers. You can no longer dismiss them as has-beens or write off their ambitions. The Blues look poised for a concerted challenge on multiple fronts, armed with the tactical cohesion and depth to compete on all fronts. All signs point to a return to Champions League football's grandest stages too, with the high-stakes cauldrons of European nights at the Bridge beckoning once more. It looks increasingly certain that Chelsea will be contenders in every competition they compete in this season, all accomplished through Maresca's progressive stewardship. More pertinently, it suggests a longevity and sustainability to Chelsea's project under his watch. This looks like more than just a fleeting honeymoon period. But should Chelsea's upward trajectory continue on this path, the achievements under Maresca could be even more seismic for the club's long-term future. He's not just restoring them to the top now, he's laying the foundations for an era of dominance and serial winning. His methods and identity will become ingrained, ensuring Chelsea remain a relentless force for years to come. Trophies will surely follow. But more importantly, Maresca is sculpturing a robust culture primed for sustained excellence, complete with an identity, style and winning mentality he's drilled into the fabric of the club. From the first team down to the academy ranks, the Maresca era is still in its infancy, but his control, philosophy and sweeping ideological overhaul already feel permanent and concrete. Chelsea is finally experiencing their rebirth. But how about Chelsea's best player? Cole Palmer has been sensational for Chelsea over the last 2 seasons, but just how good is he actually? Click the video on the screen to find out.